Hey guys, it's Kaiwan and I'm back with another video. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how you can turn this to something like this using Photoshop and Lightroom. And as you can tell, it's more like a photo manipulation tutorial. I don't remember I've done a photo manipulation tutorial, proper one, but today is the day I'm going to show you guys how I blend and compose my image and kind of like color grade at the end. I want to announce that I just released my newest preset pack with the name of Coda Film. All of the presets that are included in this pack are highly inspired with the cinematic look, we can say cine style, and you can tell that I use these presets on my latest photos on Instagram, and I'm gonna be using one of this preset in this tutorial so I can kind of review it for you guys and kind of showcase how the preset looks alike. Maybe you're interested to get the pack. The link will be in the description. Anyway guys, let's just jump right into it. Alright guys, so here we are in Lightroom. As you can see, this is the original photo that we have. It's a raw photo, and if you're wondering with what camera I shot this, it's a Sony a7 Mark III, and then these are the adjustment: ISO 200, 35mm 1.4 lens, the Sigma, and the aperture is 2.2, and then shutter speed we have 2500. It's a very normal photo, but you can make it really cinematic by like simple step, and that's cropping the aspect ratio to 16:9, and boom. And as I mentioned in the beginning of the intro that I'm gonna use one of my presets for this video. The preset is included in the new pack that I just released by the name of Coda Film, and I'm gonna review it. So starting from KF1, KF2, and then we have 3, very different look. All cinematic, as you can see. KF4, 5, 6, 7. Also KF8 is probably my favorite. I really like the tones and the colors. KF9, it's a bit intense look, but sometimes it works really well with some photos. I think I'll go with KF4. This is the preset that I've been using a lot. I'm gonna do some adjustment by bringing down the temperature to kind of have this kind of blue tint look, and then bring down some of the highlights so we can bring back the detail. And now you always have to do these adjustments, kind of adapt your your look, because photo to another photo is different, so adjustment will be different. Obviously the most important thing is the tone curves, and also we have HSL, which is all the colors that can change. We have split toning, which is the most important part probably to kind of change the whole picture. I mean, yeah, this is pretty much it. One thing I want to do, actually, I want to add some contrast around 60 something, maybe add some white. All right, and now when you apply the preset, this preset it comes with the gradient filter here. You can remove it if you want, or you can decrease the opacity or something. Maybe you can add more exposure to it. In my case, I think I'm gonna add more exposure somehow. All right, I mean, this is what I did. This is before, after, before, after. And don't forget to crop your aspect ratio to 16:9 so you have a better cinematic look before, after. And what I did after this, I went to Photoshop. I exported, and then after post-processing, we're gonna go to Photoshop. Now I'm gonna break it down in Photoshop, so let's jump to it. Here we have. So basically this is the final result. As you can see, I saved the PSD file. So I can break it down to you guys. Honestly, I can do the whole thing, but it's gonna be very long. If you don't know the basics of Photoshop, if you're a very beginner, I recommend you to at least watch some of the videos so you can have an idea what I'm talking about. But if you already have a little bit of information, I think it will be enough to get the whole thing. So I'm gonna start with the first layer, which is obviously the background layer. And then what I did, I added this car that I got from unsplash.com. And if I display the layer mask, basically this is how it looks. One thing you should be really careful when it comes to combining your pictures or composing in general, it is the perspective. Basically, as you can see, this photo is pretty much perfect, kind of the position, and to blend it with the main picture because of the perspective. Imagine if this picture was taken in a total different angle, it wouldn't fit at all. So this is one thing. For example, let's create a layer and explain you guys what I'm talking about. We'll go with red color here. So this is kind of like the guideline to combine your picture. You always have to kind of draw it. Even if you don't want to draw it, you have to imagine how you're gonna put it there, because realistically it doesn't make sense. Even like, let's say if the car was bigger right now, it wouldn't make sense. So you have to think visually and kind of have the image in your head before you start editing. All right guys, so now that we understand that this perspective is very important to when it's come to blending and combining your photos, now let's jump what I did exactly. So I added a layer mask here, as you can see, and just enable it. So basically I remove everything that is not necessary to be shown with brush tool, with black brush tool here. It took me a lot. It took me like 10 to 20 minutes. I used kind of soft brush, like the hardness 0 here, so we can kind of get like a very smooth edges here. And then I went with 100 hardness to kind of remove everything from here. I went with 50% opacity to remove this window, so we can still have the window but also kind of have the background picture too. So it's actually very easy if you think about it. All you need to do is just to be more careful realistically, your vision, you know. After that, I added some darkness to this. As you can see, I added some black brush to this part of the area because it doesn't make sense, because I'm thinking of adding sun here. So if I add a sunlight here, it would be kind of a bummer to see this highlight exposure part of the car. So the next thing I did, I added some color grading with gradient map. It might look weird, I know. What I wanted to achieve is to kind of get the same coloring on the main picture, which is very, we can say, warm orangish, black orangish dark tone. I don't know how to explain, but but you get me. This is how it looks. And then I added a curve to kind of add some also fade look, because our main background is also, you know, it's like kind of matte. And by just grabbing your bottom left corner a little bit up, and then doing the same thing with the highlight, fading out the highlight too. And then obviously the colors are too much boosted. I kind of desaturated with hue and saturation. And the reason this looks like this, I added a clipping mask so it can only apply on the car layer. So when you add a clipping mask, it will only apply underneath layer, which is we have the car layer. Anyway, so this is pretty much it. The next thing I did, kind of darkened it. I darkened it a little bit more. Probably use camera raw filter, decrease some exposure. And then after all of this, I use dodge and burning tool to kind of pump the image a little bit more. And to create dodge and burning layer is very easy. All you have to do is just create new layer, shift and delete or backspace if you're using Windows, and then we have 50% gray, 100% opacity, okay. Then change the normal blend to overlay, and then start using we have dodge tool and burn tool. And to be more specific, we're gonna use dodge tool to kind of bright the brighted areas, and then we're gonna use burn tool to kind of dark the darkened area. So I hope it makes sense. As you can see, if I disable all the layer and just show the dodge and burn layer, as you can see, I kind of made the field here white. I added some white to this area, so because I'm gonna add the sunlight. I added some brightness to the windows here. As you can see, the windows. Yeah, pretty much that's it, guys. Last but not least, I added one of my lights in my light package, which makes it really kind of dramatic, we can say. I really like it. It's like a sun flare here, and it looks kind of realistic, but I really like it. I obviously played with the resizing and kind of made the position in the right place. I'll change the normal blend again to screen. I mean, that's it pretty much, guys. If you are interested to get these lights, you get 100 high resolution lights, different looks, different colors. The link will be in the description if you're interested to check it out. Anyway, guys, I hope you like this photo manipulation tutorial, we can say. I know it was not like the full tutorial, but it was more like showing you guys how I did it, and also kind of breaking down the method and the tools that you might be able to use in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.